Because it's pronounced now. You look like Louis the 14th. I mean, it's because it's Louis the 14th here.
Can you? How do I look?
Sorry, I type in 14th.
No.
There we go. Good morning. I'm Navin.
I'm Louis the 14th.
He is a Louis the 14th.
Apparently, I just found out the hair is very French. French.
Hair is not French.
Oh,
Your hairstyle is very Louis the 14th.
is Louis the 14th French?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, he was.
He's not the.
He was
beheaded
King Louis the 14th. Of course, he was French. Anyway, so welcome to the Paintedfigs show. We're going to show off some pictures of some work we've done, and I hope you enjoy it. Please stay till the end of the news. The third thing we talk about in the news, you won't see coming. Okay,
Neither did
cool.
I. Okay.
Yes. Okay, first up we have, for 40k, we have some Tallarns.
What are Tallarns?
The Tallarns are an Imperial God army, so some people call them Astra Militarum, but I will say no, they are Imperial God.
Okay.
Because they have not come back since they became Astra Militarum. They're basically the Lawrence of Arabia space Arabs, right? And because Game Watch had this lovely period when they made always interesting Imperial Guard armies. They had the Mordians, who were guys in like proper parade ground suits when they went to fight in their proper parade ground suits.
Yeah.
You had the Praetorians, who were the Mordians with like Victorian, pith helmets added on. They did them as a laugh,
Nice.
but everyone loved them. So
Yeah,
then
they just kept it
everyone
going.
went off and bought a whole bunch. And we've done entire armies of Praetorians in British redcoats with las guns, right? And pith helmets. The Tallarns are the space Arabs, right? And
I see the vibe. Yeah.
there you go, right? And they're a classic army. What's interesting about this army is that I don't think there's any old school Tallarn minis in it. You're seeing lots of conversion work.
Okay.
They've taken figures from different Imperial Guard like squads and things, and like different flavors of army, put them together, right? You're seeing vehicles that look like they're from the Elysians, right? They've done head swaps, right? I think they're 3D printed or aftermarket head
As in,
swaps.
is it difficult to find Tallarn Imperial Guards now?
They don't make them anymore.
Oh, okay. Just on eBay.
On eBay, I'm sure the Chinese
Were they
reclasses
metal?
were turning them out. They were metal. Well, they are metal because metal is forever.
Yes.
Yes, right.
Love metal.
They're gene stealer cultist swaps. Right? I mean, so there was a really inventive art. We didn't do the conversion work on this army, by the way. The client sent them to us, all these parts picked out. So I can't remember if we assembled them or not.
Okay.
But they were lovely pieces, really nicely done. The 3D prints, a lot of flavor. It all came together very nicely. And the painting was fun. You see the gradients over here? I mean, we had fun with the gradients to make the armor stand out, be a little more interesting between dark. And that's my phone going off. So something we had fun with here was the gradation and color on the armor, because we wanted to have that nice fade, right? And an exhibition quality, you gotta find something fun to do. There's no camo or anything as such, so you gotta have some fun with it, and you can. I mean,
all the vehicles look so nice. Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, it was because it was a lovely color to work with. It was nice to get the gradient, and the color played well for getting that gradient. Lovely earth tones. And you also see you see the exhibition Calais. You can see I just the earlier I'm saying, hey, make it interesting. Right?
Yeah.
Calais is flock basically, right?
Yeah.
And instead of having boring, flat, consistent, sifted earth, you want it to be more interesting. It has to look like it's real. Yeah. And for the exhibition quality, we make sure that the flocking has some variety, has some jazz to it, and it's more realistic, right? Yeah. And that's what happened over here. But anyway, it's nice seeing some of the older figures also mixed in with the newer figures, newer kits, aftermarket stuff, resin pieces, 3D printers. It's a very flavorful, I think, mix. Yeah. There's also some figures have kind of a cross-genre feel. There are some Dune-looking guys who also make me think of. There's a guy who seems to be Commissar Gaunt. What's he doing there? Are these Tanith person onlys painted as Tallarns? And there's an obvious honored Reverend Mother somewhere. Let me find the Reverend Mother. What the hell is that? Yeah. Right? Those aren't in the army, but very fun.
Nice little mix and match.
Yeah. So it was fun. I particularly enjoyed watching this army come to fruition. So it was a fun one.
That was Astra Militarum. Oh no.
No, that was the Imperial Guard Tallarn, who I'm sure Astra Militarum in some universe where Lawrence of Arabia is remembered.
We remember.
You don't remember.
We don't remember.
Have you seen Lawrence of Arabia?
No. It's more of when somebody says, remember September.
Well, Cleopatra.
Yeah.
I was asked by a young lady how old I really was, to which I said, well, I mean, I remember, when Cleopatra and Caesar were all getting it on. Cleopatra was a cool girl, stay away from those snakes. And oh no, she had to collect snakes. So that's a good way to play that down.
Yeah.
Pretty girl asks you how old you are, says to me like, I was there when the pyramids were built. I'm not paying that for you. You got to pay me more than that. 500 bushels of wheat? Get out of here. It's not even barley.
Love a bushel.
So.
Okay, next up we've got Age of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar, the Soulblight Gravelords. So, with Age of Sigmar, they took their undead armies and they broke them into so many shades of undead army, right? And they're fun. They each had their own distinctive feel. And the Soulblight Gravelords are my favorite-ish, if I can have one among them, because they are the closest to the original vampire counts. Right? Like they've got, and there's some of the same figures, you know, the Blood Knights. They got rid of the Grave Guard and have the Barrow Guard now. I'm not sure what that did, but you got some cool guys, right? And the figures are a lot more interesting because if you look at the old from Warhammer the Old World, like back in the day, the undead, like the skeletons were really, really derpy, and we were like, even then we were like, what is this, right? And here they had some fun. They gave them armor, bits and pieces, and clothing. They're a lot more interesting, a lot more to work with. And as I said, that contrast with armor and cloth, right? And bone is always fun to work with, right? It's like,
I really miss playing Warhammer Total War. I think we played like twice, and then that was it.
You can play it on your own.
I know, but it's I miss
friends. You have no time for games.
Yeah.
I don't miss friends, but I have no time for games.
I miss friends, and I have no time for games. But
because we're your friends.
Yeah, but then we don't play it.
Because you go home, you get tired and stuff. And you're like, it's been a long week.
In fairness, I went home yesterday to throw up, and then I came back.
You threw up?
Yeah. I was
saying this on camera, you wouldn't say it to us.
I told you yesterday on call. I was like, I was not...
No, you didn't.
I will have it on written record.
Gaslight. You were gaslighting me on camera?
When you called me last night for undiscreet reasons.
Oh, this is okay.
I remember mentioning after the conversation.
You remember I mean, you may have said that.
Yes. No, I remember mentioning like, oh, okay. No, you were like, you just wanted to watch a movie. I was like, yeah, I just wanted to come home and throw up. And that was it.
You said you wanted to come home and throw up. You didn't say you actually threw up.
Oh, no, I didn't. The story hasn't changed. It was I went home to throw up. I never threw up, but I went home to throw up. I was sick.
I'm going to go home to throw up after this.
It was really long.
I'm glad you were fine. I was expected not to be.
I was fine.
If you were less obsessed with throwing up when you weren't going to, you could maybe hang out and be watching For All Mankind. No, watching Star City.
Yes, Saturday. But next time.
Oh yeah, Soulblight Gravelords. Okay. So, these are fun, but there's this one guy here.
Dragon guy.
Vahodrai or is Prince Vordrai?
The Lord of the Crimson Keep.
He's such a Vahor.
He is such a Vahor.
I've been waiting to say it all episode. But he's an interesting figure. I mean,
what about him makes him a Vahor? Is it because he has control over his own body? Do you think having autonomy over someone's body makes you a whore?
What are we talking about? Anyway, I like the figure.
Yes.
I'm not going to say I like him, but I like the figure.
He probably likes you as well, apparently. If he's such a whore, he likes anyone.
He's undead. Yeah. He likes anything that's not undead,
nice.
Right? The same way you like a cheeseburger, right?
Not a cheeseburger.
Well, a good cheeseburger. Anyways, get back to the Vahor, right? So what's fun, but what Games Workshop has always done, here's a dragon with a dude riding it so well. Like from the earliest days, like before I knew what Games Workshop was, when I was a child and like I don't know, running around in the desert in Kuwait, like they were doing this. Like before we knew, like yes, when I hang out with Cleopatra, being like, what are you doing with that thing, girl? Like put it down. Like they were making amazing dragons and it's always been their thing out of metal, plastic, whatever it is, right? And the way they compose them, the way they put them together, like no one matches them. Like Reaper is an incredible dragon, especially back in the day, but nothing like these.
Is it just dragons or any winged creature? Because like the old world models with the winged creatures, I also like.
They've had some derpy orc wyverns.
Oh, okay.
Right? But the elven dragons.
The elven dragons are really nice.
It's amazing. Like there's clearly a bunch of design guidelines, and I bet you John Blanche was involved, right? Versus this is what you want to do. Here's you want to compose this. And you look at them like there was a beautiful sketch somewhere. There's my amazing sketch. You know, like shut up, you say one word about it, I will stab you in the eye with my pencil. Right? And we will take the sketch and we'll make it 3D. Before Meshi came along, you could do it for like 30,
big up Meshi.
30 seconds and 3 cents. Anyway, but before that, anyway, but we have.
We wouldn't have Meshi if we didn't have this. The data set is from that.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful Warhammer dragon. They do the best dragon things, and it's nice to see them. Nice to see them doing dragon things. They're so good at it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So these are Soulblight Gravelords, and Prime apparently does not need to throw up. So shall we talk about Battletech?
Mechs.
Yes.
Big mech. Have you watched Code Geass?
I'm always uncomfortable with that show because of its name.
Okay.
Like I can't with the straight
Can't take it
face.
seriously.
It's like how people talk about Simon, right? The miniature company.
Yeah.
Like they're like, is it?
Simon.
And I'm like, shut up, can't go there, right? And thank God I never went. Wait a minute, is it really this? But if I had, I would not be able to take them seriously either. They're
You watched
wonderful figures.
Evangelion though.
Yeah. I'm old, man. I've seen Evangelion.
I haven't. I watched the.
You haven't watched the original Evangelion?
No, I watched the breakdown, but I didn't watch the original. There was like a.
Did that one blogger lady who you watch?
Oh no, not
she
her.
talk about
not Angela Collier.
Yes, is that how you learned about the way you learned about Lord of the Rings and Jesus? You learned from Angela Collier doing a blog post about it, a video about it.
Scourge of the Shire. There was a nice video about like the breakdowns of the Christian overtones and everything. Anyway, Battletech.
Watch the primary product.
I should.
Because it's not like it's hard to get hold of.
It's long and I don't have time.
This is not like, but you shouldn't watch a derivative product about it because all the joy. I mean, like, okay, I'm sorry, major digression here. Okay, so you didn't get this because you went to the UK where they taught you UK things like you must learn to be an engineer. Here's how you engineer, right? I went to a much more decadent education system in America where they went, you will have a liberal arts education. Like, what does that mean? Today you will learn about parrots. And like, what? I mean, like, you have all these weird ass things you're learning about. And the reason they have that, what they're thinking behind the liberal arts education is it's such a hoity-toity, like 19th century, like, posh boy ideal, right? Where you go, you have to learn to be like a broad person, which means you need to learn broad things. So sure, you want to go off and become a doctor, but what do you know about parrots, right? Or Louis XIV's hair, right? Or what was that star from the last week's episode, week before?
The star?
Nixon's vice president. You mentioned a character from a game. It's that guy.
Nixon's vice president.
Algernon or something, or
I have no idea.
Whatever. Anyway, we'll say
that guy.
Anyway, so right? So it's this very 19th century sort of idea that to be a good doctor, you would need to know parrots and so on things, and like, Louis XIV's hair, etc., right? So you want to have a broad, weird, mad education, many, many things, which makes you interesting company to sit and have a glass of wine with, and you know which wine to pick, right? That kind of thing, right? Part of this idea is romanticism versus scholasticism. And scholasticism is, I have read an article about an article about an article about the Bible. Well, it's one story. Or I have watched a YouTube video about a thing which changed the world, which I could just watch as well anyway, right? And it was harder to make a case against scholasticism when you were some monk sitting in a monastery in like Lindisfarne Abbey, and the nearest place you can find something to read without running into barbarian Vikings is Byzantium, right? So you have limited stuff, you do what you can, and guess what? You're going to have to read the treatise that somebody wrote about a thing, from someone who's in the same abbey with you, right? But once there was more access to primary sources, right? Once there was more access to books that have been translated and or carried and kept safe, ancient Greek and Roman texts by the Islamic scholarly world, and then back into the Western world, people are like, wow, why are we reading commentaries, and like, why don't we go read the real thing and then form our opinions directly? which led to, and that was the Renaissance, right? It was such a fusion and beautiful outpouring of ideas. People could go, wait, let me learn this stuff for myself. I can do this now. What about this mad idea? I'll connect this with that. And that led directly to the Reformation. Because regular people went, I'm going to read this Bible, and it says I don't have to give you anything, right? So you're in a day and age now with unparalleled access to everything. So rather than watch a video about Evangelion, you should go, oh, it's a cool thing. I'm not going to watch that video. Let me try watching it. And if I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Then maybe watch that video to give you a bit of a pump. I will give because it hurts you.
Yeah, so I'll give you my perspective on it. Yes. Which is, because we're in a day and age where I have access to everything, it is hard to figure out what to pick and choose of what is the primary source and what we should go to. So with me, I have such a limited amount of time to spend on anything outside of work. So when there is an opportunity for like an hour or two, because this was on the bus back from Kandy, with hometown, it was like a 4 or 5 hour bus. Instead of watching the entire Evangelion, which is like, what, 20 hours or 25 hours? I don't know how long the TV series is.
It's a fair.
It's a fair. And also, I don't even know if it's going to be good or not, because this is my first introduction to what Evangelion is. So there was a video that came up about how the Christianity ideals fit into it. And the title sounded nice, the introduction was nice, and I was like, okay, fine, let me go watch this out. Because the only way I get access to, should I go and refer to the primary source, because there's so many primary sources that everybody's saying all of these things are good. Like Battlestar Galactica, I really want to watch, and I haven't watched any videos about it because I'm keeping to watch the primary source. But then something new that would come across my table that I would just see a video of, I'll just go watch the video, because going out of my way to watch the primary source when there's other primary sources that are already on my to-watch list, it doesn't seem fair to jump the queue.
Did you already know Evangelion was worth watching, though, before you watched the video?
No. I knew Evangelion was a thing.
Okay, fine.
Because all I knew about it was Akacha mentioned like Evangelion was an anime. And like, I knew it was an anime, but she was like, oh, it's decent. But like, how everybody will recommend everything in the world. So how do you triage that?
Fair enough. I thought you already knew it was amazing and were like, let me watch a video about it so I don't have to watch it. Yeah.
No, it didn't go through the story as much. It just
then I reserve my latent judgment.
There was nothing latent about it.
Was it? Oh, I withdraw my overt judgment.
But yeah, because
that was some good preaching, though.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I mean, that was
yes. I mean, I think I did a good job defending the preaching.
Oh yeah, you were like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay, right.
It's good acceptance of the preach. Cool. But we have so much information now. There's so many things to watch. And
that is an interesting problem. We didn't have that problem.
Like, it's so hard. Because of it, we just shut down. Like, very rarely, like me and Jude, like we just don't consume anything anymore because there's so many options. Like Netflix, you just open Netflix and go through the browsing catalog.
Yeah, I don't even touch Netflix anymore. Yeah. Because you don't know what to watch and it's probably all crap.
Yeah, my dad eats, takes a plate of food to watch Netflix, and he eats while going through the catalog, and then he just doesn't watch anything, and he goes back to work. Because, like, what else can you do, really? But anyway, that's Battletech.
I hope you enjoyed the Battletech.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's Battletech going in the background.
We should talk a little bit about Battletech. I don't know how much Don can use of us just rambling about primary sources and like the medieval era.
That was fun. That was good.
But no, these are what's nice about these figures. These Catalyst Game Lab figures is that they. Oh my god, what is nice about them? So you want to go back to the metal ones, right? That Iron Winds used to make, and. I mean, they were kind of derpy. They were old, right? And they were based on, I believe Battletech got their figures from a Japanese toy seller back somewhere in like whenever the hell in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And then they started making their own, and they got into big trouble with Harmony Gold, the guys who do Robotech, I believe. Okay. I'm not sure if Robotech was the IP where this became an issue. Mm-hmm. No, this Macross Robotech, kind of the same thing. Anyway, So the guys who have the IP for Battletech, they get in trouble with Japan, with Harmony Gold. And then there's a lawsuit, and you don't see any more Battletech coming out for a while. Mm-hmm. And then when they have a settlement, Catalyst Game Labs gets the license to make it, or they buy the IP outright. I'm not sure which it is. Yeah. And they go, okay, we have these designs, and they look kind of cool, but they're very dated. Mm-hmm. How can we soup them up a bit, but be true to the source material and make some interesting, freaking amazing robots, right? And they did. And like, there's a whole American robots versus Japanese robots, and like, I was talking about this earlier. I think I was talking to Ahib about this because Ahib if you either like Pacific Rim 1 and hate Pacific Rim 2, or you like Pacific Rim 2 and you hate Pacific Rim 1.
Okay.
Right? And I am in the second camp where I prefer Pacific Rim 2 because there the robots are much more like Japanese robots. They're faster, they're nimble, they're agile. It's not realistic. Giant robots are not realistic, right? But it's a different aesthetic where the robots are things of beauty and they perform and work like things we have grace, right? And generally, American robots are absolutely not that way. They're not Gundam-like. They're not like elegant. They're not weird things that are part Evangelion monster. They're big, clunky robots.
They're heavy, right? You feel the weight of them. Yeah.
They say clunk. Yeah. They say good morning. They say clunk back to you, and they just keep going, right? And they have explosions and overheating things and radiators.
I think clunk is a slur now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is clunk a slur I can use on people who like American-style robots?
It's a slur that offends AI and robots. You shouldn't use that.
Really? Does it offend AI tech bros who are trying to...
I'm sure it does.
Anyway,
sorry, continue.
Anyway, so then what would you call... Let's not go to words you would call people who appreciate the grace and beauty of Japanese robots.
Cool people.
Nothing good happens when you say, "Oh, you like this thing about Japanese whatever." Like, let's not go there, right? Like, or the metallese or whatever, or the robies. Okay, so it's the clunks and the robies.
Okay,
right. So I'm a robie, and I have a clunk, right? So. What's interesting about the Catalyst Game Lab figure, they are seriously clunk, but they are beautiful. And that is really hard. It's like something is so ugly, it's gorgeous. Like, how do you do that, right? Like crocodiles.
That's actually a very, very good example of something that's so ugly.
So ugly, it's beautiful, right?
I don't think you would find an example for it.
No, the design, because it's also...
I thought you were going to say my mom. It was right there.
So sorry, Auntie, right?
No.
Anyway, but the designs are amazing. There's so much detail. And it plays really well to our painting style. All the paneling and the edges to highlight. It's a lot of fun with these. So I'm not sure which parts of our mad model our Doug's going to use here. I hope he is conflicted.
I think that part is bigger than the entire video. Okay, nice. Great. I'm sorry, Don.
It could be additional material. These two saying nonsense. Yeah. And Don could give us a video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. All right, and that was Battletech.
Next up, we've got Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
Just pretty much Conan adjacent.
You are, for once, completely 100% correct.
Add it to the book. I'm retiring. No, I'm not.
You're not retiring, I'm retiring, right? If you're retired, you retire the way I did, where you got to work, whatever, right? So what happened was when the Conan movie came out in 82, whatever it is, the license for the toys had gone to Mattel, and they went, "Great, we're going to make Conan toys, right?" Yeah. Then they see the film, and they're like, "We are not going to be able to make toys of this shit, right?" But they had everything they needed to go ahead and make Conan type toys. Yeah. So they pivoted and came up with Masters of the Universe. And that's why Prince Adam and all this, they look so buff and Conan-y with their loincloths, because it was supposed to be that. Right? So Frank Frazetta gets the art and design aesthetic that goes into the Conan movie, which they could not hire him for, by the way. Oh, okay. Because he got burned by working in Hollywood. So when they're like, "Hey, we love you. Can you do the movie that you should be making?" Yeah. He's like, "Nah, Frank Frazetta, get out." Right? And they're like, "Okay, let's do a Frank Frazetta movie without Frank Frazetta." Yeah. Right? And the most Frank Frazetta human being they could find was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right, which shows you what Frank Frazetta art is like. I mean, he's the godfather of fantasy art. No, fantasy art. He's the man, right? He made that genre, and no one can cancel him as much as they want to. Like you wait 10, 20 years now, we're gonna right back. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully 10 years now, or 20 years for that.
That'll be 45.
We are big supporters of Frank Frazetta and Boris Vallejo and all those guys and Joe Jasco in here. Anyway, then that fit into He-Man. So we wouldn't have had He-Man if not for Frank Frazetta. Oh, this painting, by the way, is Santa quality. Should put that out. We don't normally show off our Santa quality because it's not our best foot. Yeah. And I mean, we're not going to put our
Worst foot.
Oh,
Well,
it's our third product. We went for a third product. It's not very worth. Standard quality follows rules. Like it's got to look like it came out of the box. Everything's got to have a shade, a highlight, and a base layer, and things look real that way, right? And that you have to have that. You can't actually have a miniature painting. It's not a miniature, it becomes a toy. A toy is flat colors. A miniature has depth, and it has highlighting. It looks like a simulacrum of a real thing. So a standard quality is the very lowest amount of work that goes in to make something look like that, which actually is like a tough bar because you can't paint things beneath a certain level. Like there are people who could maybe use things cheaper than us, but it won't look like this because it has to at least look like this or it's a failed paint job.
Yeah.
So and there's a standard quality, and the client was very happy with it.
Yeah.
You want to ask me weird questions about this stuff? Like, why is there a weird castle in the back?
I was going to ask about the mechanical dinosaur.
I know nothing about the dinosaur.
He's got a cool laser.
I don't remember the toy. He does have a cool laser. He's a cool dinosaur. He's really happy.
Right? Yeah. What is he so happy about?
I don't know. Maybe because he has the laser. That's why. Like, yeah, come on, asteroid. I got you.
Tiny hands and a big ass laser.
He's got robot legs so he can run the asteroid
There's
too.
There's a castle. There's the skull-looking castle. So this is very similar to the He-Man stuff as well, right?
That is from He-Man.
Oh.
Castle Grayskull is
that one.
He-Man's castle.
Yes.
To be fair, it's not grey in this.
Yeah, and also I haven't watched He-Man because by the time I grew up, I had Bob the Builder and I had Thomas.
There's like 3 people who are watching this video who know who He-Man is.
Okay.
Maybe 30, but
is it one of you? What you don't know He-Man? Oh, Jude's one of the He-Man guys. Oh, to be fair, this era of TV came to Sri Lanka late, so our generation did grow up with your generation stuff in the US.
It is kind of interesting. There are lots of things that, and like the same way, we grew up with things that other people our age did not grow up with.
Yeah.
Because it's the delayed effect of like,
yeah.
So, like that's why my generation still thinks hard science fiction is cool. Only in Sri Lanka, because everywhere else people stop reading hard science fiction.
God, no.
But because we had Archie Clarke's books everywhere, so we grew up in that stuff like 10, 20 years later than everyone else.
I missed out on hard science fiction as well. I missed out on a lot of things while I was there. Because
you could read the 100-gram mission. You could read Planet 9.
No, sorry, I meant like formative years. Like there was no push. Also, Archie Clarke stayed at a house in my school. That was fun.
So cool.
Yeah. But
he gave me his library. Which I then gave to my school library, who probably lost it.
He gave you his library?
Yeah, because so it was okay. On side story. So we were. It was like my gap year between college and high school. Right?
Okay.
I was 17 years old, and we went to our science fiction club. Like, yes, our science fiction club. So I go to meet Archie Clarke, right? And he has this huge library you have to walk through to get to his office. So I'm walking through things, seeing like first editions of things, all these incredible books, magazines I've never heard of, books that are cloth. I'd never seen a cloth-bound book in my life before, right?
Yeah.
So I see these things, right? And like special runs of books are only like 100 copies, right? Because they know a big publisher would never carry it, so they make 100 copies and they give it to their friends, right? So I go there. And he sees me seeing all this. He's like, "You see all these books? Like, yeah, you can have them." And that was pretty much it. Because he's like, what is he going to do with them, right? And,
what a low drop. Okay.
So I gave him my school library because I had to go to university and I was supposed to do these. And thinking that they would take care of them.
As opposed to keep it in your house and
I should have kept them in my house and taken proper care. It is such a mistake you make when you're young to trust authority figures to do their jobs. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
That was Masters of the Universe.
That was Masters of the Universe. Don't you want to ask about the design aesthetics? Why is there a weird, crazy skull like that?
I thought I did with the He-Man, but then there was no He-Man. There was a He-Man pop.
Well, something that's interesting here is like it's when you look at the artwork from this era. Remember, this was a children's cartoon which came out of Conan, right? But from this period, if you look at, for example, if you look at Hordak's Lair from She-Ra and everything, that is some crazy heavy metal stuff because all the artists who are worth their salt are all involved in heavy metal magazine. They're reading it. It's part of the zeitgeist. I mean, they may not be involved in heavy metal magazine, but they're all drawing from this. So you have amazing album covers,
And like the Warhammer design philosophy is also very Warhammer.
Right? And you have the intersection of punk and geek, right? Because like you can put like a role player and like a wargamer with a punk rock guy, a rocker, and they'll get on just fine because they're all countercultural movements, right? Less now, but definitely then. So you see this appearing in design everywhere. People always trying to push the bounds, see what they could get away with before like parents groups got involved. And like, you're not doing that. So we got to see that stuff. You did not.
Welcome to the news. The news section.
So we have some cool stuff to share today.
Yeah, where do you want to start?
I think you should start with the thing you did, because I will take all the oxygen out of the room if I do what I did.
Okay. So, as you know, even last time we talked a little bit about the ERP and everything.
The what?
The enterprise resource planning software. There we go. We finally know what ERP is.
Or to catch you out.
But we built a codex. We built the codex, which is basically a collection of all of the orders we've done in the past. Because generally what would happen is when the art instruction boys wanted to make a set, they would have to go through photos or they would have to go through Excel sheets and find out if this person has done.
And the client galleries and also their order folder and like the subfolder and so on and so forth. It's quite a bit of work.
It's difficult to go through. And the codex basically takes all the files that we've done before and links them to the client galleries. So we can just search up like.
Oh, you can find more than the galleries.
Yes. It links towards the clients as well. Yeah. So we can see all the orders that a client has done. We can see all the Eldar orders that anybody has done. All the even the Space Marines. You can find the chapters. So any Chaos order we've done, any Chaos Marines order we've done. We can go through timelines. Every order we've done in 2015. Everything is just there, and then they have their own separate tags, and they go through some of them link back to the website, and some of them link to the Board Game Geek sites because we do a lot of random board games as well. Like there's
lots of them,
right? Yeah. So that is the codex, and that's what I've been.
So you want to connect Munl with that too, because when clients are asking about painting, they'll say, "Oh, have you done Mansions of Madness?" And then he just goes into Google Photos and looks up some Mansions of Madness, and Google Photos doesn't know what to do with the volume of galleries we have, and it gives him like 5 random galleries. But if he can go into the codex and type in mansions, and immediately everything comes up. Now he can see, okay, it's these, it's by these quality levels, here's all the information. That will be hugely helpful to him as well. So you guys at home understand how this is helpful for the customer. Let's say you send us some Ultramarines in 2022. 2024, you come back and you want some more Ultramarines. Okay, fine. And in 2026, you want some more. We need to make sure that things are consistent. If we can have the same painters involved, want the same painters involved, helps us find the swatches to make sure that color consistency is important, so that whatever happens, we end up with an army that is very consistent, and you don't have oddities, even though it's painted over years.
And now with the newer orders, it can't backlink, but with the newer orders, it links up to the sets what we make. So we know which painter did what order, what time.
So we can go down to the figure.
We can go down to the figure, but only for the new orders that are coming in.
That's still pretty cool.
But yeah, cool.
Like who painted this one figure in 2026? Yep. Okay, it was him. Very cool.
Cool. That is the codex. Do you want to talk about the R&D team?
Oh, yes. Yes, can you do it the 14th? Yes. So we had this thing we used to do back when we were at the old studio and things were so under control and the company was so much simpler. We were bored and doing fun things. No, it was fantastic. We did that, changed our lives in a good way, right? And it was called the R&D team. And it was just a bunch of painters who, there are people who work their ass off painting and they love painting. But when they go home, they will do anything but painting. And then there are people who go, I've worked a long shift of painting. I'm going to go home and do some more painting. Not of particularly a wargame miniatures, of anything. Maybe their own oil painting, their own canvas work. Some people will sculpt. And some will go off and just watch painting videos and learn fun stuff and get in the forums, talk about things, say, hey, I'm interested in this one weird technique that we never use at work. I want to learn for my own purposes. Can you teach me? And they try stuff. And they do things that are well off script. These people, I like to say, live and die for art because they do. That gives them meaning. And they are the fantastic people to throw weird tasks at. So we would do this. Like back in the old studio, we had a small group of people. And we'd say, here's a weird problem. I want you to go figure this out. I want to know everything there is to know about wet blending. Here are some directions. Go figure this out and come back and show me what you got. Let's try different types of wet blending. Let's all do exercises and see what we have. And they became a reservoir both of both for learning and picking up new ideas, but also for experimenting and applying to what we do here in the studio, and for teaching people those things.
What are some of the stuff you're working on now?
Right now, we are looking at airbrushing, which will sound very bizarre to people at home. They're like, well, what do you mean you're looking at airbrushing? Here's our thing. If we are doing an army and it's going to be mainly a certain base color, if the painters and paint trainers go, you know what, we don't want this primed black, we want this to be in the army's base coat color of X, then okay, the builders go, great. They will get that color blended, and then they will spray that color over the entire army. And then it goes to the painters in their allocated blocks already sprayed in those colors. And then if there's an effect the painter needs to do, they'll just take their brush and do it. A lot of what you might see on our figures that might look like airbrushing, it's not airbrushing. You can just dry brush that well if you want to, right? Well, not if you want to. I mean, I guess it takes some practice, right? But there's an intermediate case that we're not sure about, where can an airbrush give people advantages that are going to exist in between, look, I just pick up a brush and dry brush single figure, versus we have airbrush, we have sprayed an entire order in a certain base color. Now, we don't like using airbrushes for most general painting anyway, because I just don't like the look. Airbrushes, I mean, they have a nice look. It looks very fancy. There's some really cool things you can do with airbrushes, but our mission is traditional painting. And you don't need airbrushes for a lot of traditional painting, and it leads to decisions in how to paint that I think are a departure from traditional painting. And by traditional painting, and that also has changed in meaning. I mean, you could have called it the Citadel method of painting, base coat, wash, dry brush. I still talk about this. No one in the studio does this. They all do that. When they start from the bottom, they prime black or like a dark color, and they layer up, right? A lot of dry brushing involved. It makes it's faster, and it has better results. It looks nicer, I think. They do a better job with that than we did with Citadel back in the day. But there's a look, there's a traditional look. Like when you look at the figures on a Games Workshop box, the painting needs to look like that figure on a Games Workshop box. Otherwise, I treat it as a failure. And a lot of airbrush techniques will not give you that finish. They give you a different kind of look. It's a little bit more towards speed painting. It's pretty, it's cool. There are things you can't really do very easily with a brush. But I think we have more power to control quality and control the look and the final result with just straight up brushes and dry brushing, which is why we have always done that. However, painters like, what about airbrushing, right? Now, we used to airbrush more in the past, but we stopped because, well, we didn't really need to airbrush, but also there was a trust issue because we had painters who we couldn't trust with the gear because they would be morons. The caliber of painter we have today has changed a lot from the early days. We have a lot of degree holders, we have people with graduate school programs, we have a doctor. So we're like, here, if you want an airbrush, you can have one, right? Just take care of it. And they take care of it. Yeah. So that's the first thing we've done with the R&D group is like, okay, everyone, here's your airbrushes. They're nice and fancy. They got their silent compressors and little stringy wire things and everything and all their gear. And we're like, go have fun. Here's your airbrush colors, your airbrush medium. Experiment, see what works, see what doesn't work, and see if there is a use case where painters can go, this is a useful tool that exists between a sprayed army and me picking up a dry brush to do an effect. And that is our first thing we're testing.
Nice. Oh, yeah. R&D boys.
So the R&D has come back. It's mainly R&D girls.
We are so back.
Yeah, we're back, right? But it's nice to be working on that because now I'm retired. It's the worst retirement ever. I come to work every day. And
willingly.
Everyone goes to work willingly.
You could choose to stay home.
I could choose to kill myself.
Exactly. If you choose to stay home, I think you would choose to kill yourself.
Right? Anyway, so we want to see where it's going. And we want to have them do different things where they do applied research, where they're testing specific things and techniques and seeing how this is going to work out. Can we apply this to our process? And also more basic weird things like, oh, that's that thing, a penny on coconut. I mean, you know what I mean, right? Because there'll be something strange that intersects later, which should be something that makes us money, which we may not realize, or adds value in a way we don't realize. And also just training. Like we was in order where someone was talking about us doing some NMM painting on Lionel Johnson for Arcady's Army. Yeah. And Manuel asked me about this and go, look, we don't do that. We do some NMM. We don't have to do that. Yeah. And 30 seconds later, wait a minute, no, tell them we'll sort it out. We have an R&D team. They'll figure this out. They're really smart. They'll do it. So yeah, so it's a become a reservoir. They become a reservoir of good skills that we may not make sense to train everyone in. So, like a crack team.
Crack team.
A crack team.
A crack team. Love crack.
Does this mean different things for your generation?
Yeah. What does crack team mean to you?
A crack team is like an elite team.
Crack
like
team.
A crack team of commandos are not commandos on crack.
Yeah, we just do. This team just does crack, but not this team. The crack team.
I hope no one does crack.
I also hope no one does crack.
Anyway, so that was the news.
Nice. That was a bit of a unison in the news.
And that's the show.
That's the show.
Thank you so much. Like and subscribe.
Please do. Give those likes a smash.
Weigh in on our stupid debate, which may have been cut from this video, but might be another one, where I say something without context, and he's like, no.
Smash that like button. Make sweet love.
And that's all. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
That's it. I stopped asking about questions after you didn't know about the dinosaur, and I didn't know what I was wandering into.
Fair enough.